piece of rice in my beard. I hope that hasn't been there all day. That would be embarrassing. Whatever. Right. Well, I'm here. I was foolish. Oh my god. You know, I had KFC today and I had a bit of chicken just go down the wrong way, and it hasn't been the same since. My voice. I'm okay. I'm okay. So I was foolish before I came on live stream today, and I decided to organize some folders and files and stuff on my computer, forgetting, of course, that basically is like one of my triggers to actually make me feel tired and sleepy. So I'm okay though. I'm okay. Yeah. Had a day. Had a good day, but also a bad day at the same time. Like, it's mostly good, but essentially, I had. Oh my god. Just a couple of things that are bugging the crap out of me. This isn't one of them. This isn't one of them, but it's becoming one. I don't know what it is. I had some rice. I made myself some food, and then I came on stream. I mean, it's not like it's rocket science. What happened in between then and now that made my voice kind of like trigger some kind of weird. I don't know. That's pissing me off. Yeah. So good things that happened today. I went out and I came back and met up with a friend, and basically we had a really good time. And it was like they took me to KFC, and it was delicious. And I had a good breakfast lunch, so that was cool. So, woo. Some other good things happened today as well. Like with my friend, with my buddy. So that's cool. Like, very, very good day. The bad things that happened today is that I thought that when I woke up today, I woke up admittedly a bit too early. Like, I went to bed at crazy, crazy, annoying times. Well, I didn't. It's not that I went to bed at crazy times. It's more that I woke, that I fell asleep at crazy times. I went to bed at semi reasonable timing, but I ended up actually falling asleep at like 8 a.m. or 8:30 or something. So yeah, I woke up and I was completely fine for a good I want to say 6 or 7 hours, and after that I was just kind of like lethargic and kind of, but otherwise still in a good mood because I was, you know, I had company, so I was like, I was focused more on them more than I was kind of focused on being tired and sleepy. I will say that they monopolized my time even when they left, because I was like ended up talking to them on my phone. I went inside after I came out here, did a bit of work, so then I went back inside the house, and I laid on the sofa because I was feeling really pooped, really tired, just kind of a little bit out of it. And now I'm talking these words. I'm yawning. My ears just popped as well because I yawned. That's weird. Yeah. And yeah, then the bad stuff started to happen. Basically, I had issues because I wanted to film something real quick. Because I filmed something yesterday, and I had they're not in here right now, but I don't know if you know this, but I have external microphones, and like they plug into the camera, and you can basically record using those microphones. You can record audio using those microphones. Yeah, they didn't work. This is the first time they haven't worked, and it was really disappointing because I was supposed to do a basically I had a Just for Fans request, and I have no idea if I think it's safe to put this on YouTube, so it probably will be on YouTube as well. But essentially, it's a vor disposal kind of video, and I don't really want to spoil it, but well, I'm going to spoil it all. But essentially, it's just like I've eaten somebody, and then it's just like a shot of me padded going into the bathroom, and then the bathroom door closes, and then you hear lots of noises, basically. And I wanted to record those noises, so I actually did some Foley work in the bathroom. Um, and then I come out, and of course I'm no longer padded up, and it's a thing. Somebody requested it. I did it. It was sweet and simple. And I've got the house to myself, so it's like the perfect time to shoot this without having to answer weird questions. So yeah, not that I wouldn't mind answering questions. I'm probably going to tell Damon about this when he gets back, but yeah, it's like it's kind of funny. But yeah, the microphone didn't work. The microphone was with me in the bathroom, and it didn't work. So today's plan, because my visitor was very last minute, like short notice. Today's plan was to basically reshoot that and then start on the continue doing the pick dump, because it's in the editor. I have already started doing some of it, and yeah, it's like there's progress being made. It should be done within the week, so then I can actually move on and do other projects, which will be cool. Um, because I have a couple of things that I want to do. So there's that. I have now recorded I recorded a bonus video, um, and the bonus video is for a request that I got from somebody from YouTube that basically had requested this a while ago, and I did not know that this person was, their username is completely different from their username on everything else. But one of these people actually came to me in person at at Manchester when I was in Manchester for Bear Bash. They actually came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm this person. I'm also a really big fan, and I'm also a somebody who has donated you money in the past." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" So yeah, after I explained this, they requested this like a year ago. After I explained this, it's literally just a human balloon video with me wearing a cowboy hat, um, with really cool backlighting, because they liked the backlighting for the leather video. So basically, I tried to do something similar with that in my kitchen. And they asked for a couple of other things as well. You'll see it when you'll see the video. Yeah, I broke my pump. My portable aquarium pump is broken. So yeah. So the portable aquarium pump is broken. I now don't have that, and that's annoying, for one thing, because that was the reliable one that seemed to last forever. It had D batteries in it, those really big batteries, and yeah, I need to basically replace that, but I can't replace that because I have no money. So I do have different pumps. I have one that you basically plug into the wall, so that makes it like not so portable. I have to be by a plug socket, which is fine. It's just that it's annoying if I want to try to shoot in different locations. So I'm gonna have to try to find some money to actually get a replacement. Um, I no longer have a pump for that kind of inflation videos. Um, I'll find some money somewhere. It's just that like it's it's my savings, so it's like I need this money for food. It's like no. Whatever. It's very possible, and I'm not like getting my hopes up, but yeah, I keep doing that. I'm not getting my hopes up, but it's very possible that the whole food situation might not be actually as bad in the future. Maybe. So yeah, I do want to point out. Hi Roscoe. I do want to point out Pedro. Hi Don. I can read all your messages even if you delete them. Anyway, yeah. So my pump is broken. I don't have a pump. So that's a thing. Yeah, I can read that anyway. Yeah, I read that. I saw that. Yeah, like it absolutely doesn't work. It worked for the video, so I managed to get it to work, and I might keep that in the video. So yeah, yeah. The human balloon videos and stuff when I actually do the air enema inflations and stuff. Um, that I use a portable aquarium pump, basically a very small, a low-powered aquarium pump, and it's good and everything. But the thing is that it fell. I put it on a very unstable surface, and then I turned around and that tugged on the cord, and that basically made it fall to the ground and stop working. So, like I said, I managed to fix it by undoing the back of it and basically holding down a wire. But like it's really broken. I can't really fix that permanently. There's a piece of plastic in it that is broken. That is part of the housing, and like I could try to fix it, but the thing is that like I'm not entirely sure if that's the only thing that's broken in there, because like it completely gave up after I basically had finished using it, and I couldn't get it to work afterwards. So I don't know. I'm gonna need a new one. And like I said just previously, just a minute ago, like it's annoying because I don't have any money at all. I'm going to have to use my food money to actually like do that. So yeah, for a couple of days, I will not be able to eat foods. Fortunately, I live in a house where like um, my partner is not completely is not a monster, and he is very understandable, and he will totally be okay with like me like scrounging off of him for a day or two. So yeah, it's okay. I'll be okay. Um, so yeah, that's a thing. So I then recorded the extra. I recorded the audio. I did some Foley work in in my bathroom again, but with the actual camera in the camera and microphone in the bathroom together. Yeah, and it seems to have worked. I sent Itchy the audio for that video anyway. So I did do the work today. I did do some work today, so that's cool. And like I said, I've been also doing work on the computer for like other videos. Yeah, shit. What was the other thing? Oh, the other thing is I accidentally I had to explain. I don't know how to. I have a civilian friend who like he works with computers and he basically helps fix some AI stuff every now and again. Um, and like I'm trying not to dox him. It's really annoying, but essentially, I had a problem with ChatGPT. I have used ChatGPT to create a couple of pictures. I think you've probably seen them. I did talk about them before, and I went back on there because I exceeded my amount of free stuff that I can use on ChatGPT, and I have to go back every day. After a day, the timer runs out, so you can I can now create 5 more images. However, the timer had completely run out, and it still has run out when I went back today to basically see if I can get 5 more images or 5 more alterations on this particular image that I did. And it said no, and I was confused. I then asked ChatGPT, um, how comes the timer's not reset? And it said that, like, yeah, it's a problem. Sometimes you just need to refresh the session, start a new session, or basically just wait for a little bit for the timer to reset. If it doesn't reset in an hour, then contact tech support basically about this. And I was like, okay. And then I told ChatGPT about the stories that I'm working on, just to see if I could get any more like depth and pointers and stuff like that. I then used up ChatGPT talking conversation time somehow, and now the timer has completely reset to me actually being even able to just talk to ChatGPT. The fuck? Like, I knew that there was like, that there was some limitations to free ChatGPT, but I didn't know that you could only use up so many like talking questions, just talking to ChatGPT, a chat talking to the AI. Really? And even then, out of curiosity, I looked up the price plan for the AI. I can't keep saying Chat GPT. It just like it's fucking with my speech impediment so hard. So I'm just gonna say talking to the AI. The AI. Okay. That's also bad. Whatever. Um, I'm just gonna say him. How about that? I'm gonna completely just yeah. So I checked out how much it was to actually subscribe so that you could actually talk to it for longer times, or um, for oh my god, for see if there's like an unlimited plan or whatever. It's really expensive. For me, anyway, it's really expensive for me. It's just a subscription service for everybody else, but it's like $20, $20 a £20, £20 a month or something, and it's like, no, I can't afford that. It's crazy. It's just why is it not free? So yeah, I had basically just told this. I told the AI about the story. The AI, I told him about the story. He was very, very interested in the story. I get that it's supposed to be a kind of like a customer service, kind of an AI assistant thing. And I know it's supposed to be positive about everybody and everything, but he seemed to bring up some really good, interesting points about how it's a really good story by itself. And what's really funny is that like I used up all my time asking him if I could have pointers on it. Oh, I know. No, I know. I know. Still, people have been talking to me about this, about ChatGPT, as if there is like a super free version that is kind of not as advanced, but is still pretty good. They've been talking to me about that. It's like it's better than Siri. You know. Um, so yeah, and like I said, they've been talking to me about it as if it's like it's free. It's not. It's still not awesome. It's still not the best. It still makes mistakes. And I totally get that. But I thought that version was free. I thought that the new one, the 4.0.1.a, or whatever it's called, I thought that the new version is the one that is basically is the one that's expensive and more accurate and stuff like that. I get it. I do get how much computer power there is behind these things. I just didn't know that I was using the super advanced one, and I can't seem to find the free version. And I think it's because the free version doesn't exist. So yeah, actually I know this now because, like I said, I talked to my friend about this. My friend is incredibly computer literate, and I told him about he asked me like, "What's your Google account?" And I was like, it's this email address, and like I don't know if it's completely legal. I'm not I'm not against people like looking at my stuff. I just didn't know that he was going to do this, because essentially he managed to get into my account and everything. I did kind of give him access, but I just didn't know that he could see everything that I had been doing on ChatGPT. Which is hilarious. I managed to lie incredibly convincingly about this story that is actually saying that this story is actually a noir kind of detective story, and that this this big the big fat CEO character that like I'd got the pictures of and everything, and I'd been talking to ChatGPT about, um, that he's basically like a mob boss disguised as a CEO of like this big company, and that he's actually kind of like really evil, and like the reason why he's so fat is basically that he's kind of disguised himself as kind of like an unassuming character. It's like, oh well, he's no threat. He's too fat to do anything. And there's like this really kind of like semi-gory, kind of like it's an ironic punishment. That's why he's being kind of like killed with kindness, as it were, with the whole, overfeeding thing and getting everything he wants and being a huge loudball. Yeah, it's like a whole thing. I managed to successfully do that, and the lie worked to a point. So to a point where he was like, "This story is actually really good. Like that's really awesome. That's a story I'd totally read." And I was like, "Oh fuck, oh shit." I managed to sell a completely bogus story to somebody just because that bogus story was a cover up for the gain of fiction that I was writing. Oh my god. It's one thing when basically an AI is when you're talking to an AI, it's like, yeah, they don't have any judgment or morality or anything attached to you. And it's like, it's another thing when you basically have convinced somebody else that you're writing a kind of like a detective noir story, esque story, about like a seedy underground organization that's run by this big mob boss that nobody really sees, and the detective has met, and like, but he doesn't know he's met him because he's just met this big CEO or that runs this town basically. um, and it's like, oh my god, this is a really good story. He's like, this is a really good story. I actually want to read this. Like, when you post it, could you tell me where it is? So yeah, that was surreal, but fun. That was a surreal but fun lying experience. I can't lie. So this was something new to me. One of my lies actually like sticking was like, really? You believe this? I mean, yeah, that's totally what I meant. It's I think it stuck so well because I basically had I've been talking to ChatGPT about it so casually and so kind of like nonchalantly that kind of like uh that and it was talking to me back as if, it was matching my energy. So it basically, it was like, well, of course that's what he's doing. When my friend basically like heard me lying about it, he was like, well, yeah, from what I can see, that's exactly what you're doing. It was like, he has no idea. He has no idea that people actually enjoy and get off to this stuff. It's like, yeah, he has no clue. So yeah, I've got to write now. I've got to write, as well as the two stories that this character is kind of attached to. I've now got to somehow write, or at least tell him about like a whole different other plot. And it's like, fun. Funny, at least. I think it's just funny. Yeah, I just wanted to know your guys' take on this. It's like, have you ever done this? Basically like, um, had some of your stuff that you're kind of into that is kind of a little bit out there, but then a civilian walks in on you, not exactly masturbating, but kind of just like, at least literally masturbating, or like, kind of like in your head thinking up like a completely different situation that you have to cover for this stuff, and you're like, oh no, it was just, um I mean, like, it's a furry artwork. It's just like, they're just they're playing frog, and that's the juxtaposition. No, they're not naked. They're not having butt sex. They're just jumping over each other. That's just the way that they do this game and stuff like that. And they're like, "Can I see the image again?" It's like, no, it's fine. It's. I mean, it's not even on my phone anymore. What did you want to talk to me about? Has anybody ever done this and it worked successfully? You know, I think this has actually happened to me before. Oh my god, this has actually happened to me before. Like, in high school, in early high school, I was actually curious about furries and stuff. This is the early days of the furry community, by the way. So this has been a lot of story time, but I will get to the point. I swear to God. Yeah. So I was curious about the furry community and stuff, and I accessed basically an early version of Fur Affinity, and it wasn't because I don't think Fur Affinity existed back then. Anyway, yeah, I was. We used to have a computer, one computer for the whole house, and well, one computer that was connected to the internet. I had my own personal computer by this point, but like there was only one computer, and it was the only one connected to the internet. It was the house computer, and it was in the living room, and it was this huge machine. And I was looking. I have to describe my old house. Jesus, where I used to live, where we used to live as a family. Basically, the living room was the front room of the house. You know, it had windows. Like, this computer was in the corner. The windows were like back there. Were back there. And the front door was next to the big windows for this room, basically. And like, I'm sitting at the computer here, right? And I was just looking at furry art. It was literally basically like a bunch of furry art, and it was I think this was just after Christmas or something, because I was looking at a blue wolf that was in a Santa costume, was in a Santa suit, basically. Um, just that was what was on the screen. My mum, my mum had she came into the house, and I immediately X'd, I immediately like closed the window so that she couldn't see. She came into the house, and this is a very, very short cover up, but essentially, like, again, I can't lie. Okay, I find it incredibly hard to lie. It's mainly because telling the truth is hard enough for me. you know, it lying is impossible sometimes. It's just no. It's just like, tiny lies maybe I can get away with, but like big ones, instantly hard, instantly impossible for me to do. My mom came in and she said, "What were you looking at on the computer? That was I mean, it looked like a weird cartoon." And I was like, "Oh, it was just one of my friends had drawn something funny and they sent it to me." So yeah, I managed to quickly just do the whole thing of like, it's like, so just try to change subject immediately. Just try anything. That was a lie. Try to cover that quickly by just being like, so what it's like, you're home early, etc. But my mother was kind of like weird about that for a second, and then she kind of like, there was nothing pornographic about this image. It was literally just a blue wolf in a Santa costume. An anthropomorphic blue wolf in a Santa costume. Like, it could have been, I could have just said like, oh, it's just part of a new cartoon that's coming out or something. Now that I have time to think about it and stuff, but I was just like, my friend drew this thing and put it online somehow and stuff like that, because you couldn't do that in the past. But yeah, my mum walked in on that, and it was just like, yeah, I managed to get away with that. But this was on another level. I was I lied to the point where I now have to write an entire story. The messed up part is that I kind of wanna, like, I oversold it to the point where I kind of want to write this extra story. It's good, and to be fair, I don't know if it's actually good or if basically like my friend was just so interested in it that he actually like wants to actually read it when it's done, like it's a book, you know. Because I sold it as like this big intricate story and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, why did I do that? But at the same time, it does sound kind of cool and awesome. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, that's it. That's all. That's everything that basically happened today. Lots of weird stuff happened today, as well as me being just oddly tired all day. But that again could just be chalked up to a combination of things. My beard just looks so uneven. I'm thinking of having a trim, but at the same time, I actually want to commit to actually getting one of my buddies. My buddy's got a little braiding machine, so I kind of want to see if I can straighten the beard hair, and then actually like put little Viking braids in, or little dwarven braids in and stuff, just to see how it would look. Just out of curiosity. I can't do it just with my hands. I've tried several times. It just doesn't work. So yeah, I might I'm thinking about keeping growing it for a little bit, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Hey Panafox, I don't know if I already said that. I think I did. I think I actually did this time. So yeah. So that leads us to now. I have 3, possibly 4, because I am actually very tired. 3 choices. I got 3 choices. We could, choice number 1, continue to do the pick dump. Only you guys will be here to help me not fall asleep, because like this is even an even more boring task than doing the editing on the phone, which is completely done now, by the way. It's on the computer. I'm actually doing the editing for the video, the slideshow. That's choice number 1. Choice number 2 is doing Roscoe's thing. I could actually like start on the floor plans for the New York Wars Club house, you know, the clubhouse, which we're probably going to call something else. I mean, if it's the headquarters for the American Wars Club, then I think that it would be not just, you know, kind of like the English headquarters for the world is called the Palace. It's like the New York one will probably be called something else, not just a clubhouse. It will be, you know, called something else. So that's option 2. Option 3 is we go on Amazon. Well, I go on Amazon and I look for a new portable aquarium pump. And option 4, I basically we just have a chat for a little while, and then I go to bed. So yeah, like I said, I can pretty much find energy reserves to do 1, 2, and 3, but like number 1 is going to make me fall asleep. that one is going to make me fall asleep unless like I have a continuous conversation with you guys. Number two is going to be the least interesting for you guys to watch, I think, because like it's going to be more engaging for me. But I will have to go find some. I'm going to find an actual like I've got some grid paper. I've got a book. I've got an old math book that basically, a blank one that has grid paper on it, and I'm going to go find that. I know exactly where it is, so it won't take that long. But like I said, that won't be that very interesting to you guys, I guess, maybe. I mean, maybe if we just talk about the Wars Club New York version, that'll probably be interesting, I guess. And number three is just me like looking up and talking about stuff from Amazon. So yeah, which is less boring for you. Again, it's not about that. All three of these things need to be done. All three of these things need to be done at some point, like in the near future at least. So yeah, I don't have a thing. Which one did you say? Was it number two, Don? Was it number two that you liked? The clubhouse? It does kind of require Roscoe to be around, and I think he is at least passively listening to this. I think. Panafox likes number three. Although Don said number two first. So it's like. And there's only two of you, apparently, according to both of the view counters. So. Do two. Sounds like my suggestion can't be done. Hey, no, hey, no, wait. Hold on. Roscoe has entrusted me with basically like doing the floor plans. From the sounds of it, I think Roscoe is coming up with this story and some of the characters. I am coming up with the lore and the setting. So yeah, pretty much basically what I did. I did the same thing for the palace and the clubhouse. So yeah. Haven't we been done? How do you mean? Elaborate. You know what? While you're elaborating, I'm gonna go and grab the book. Like I said, I know exactly where it is. It's. I've got a whole drawer upstairs I've got like a chest of drawers, and one of there's no clothes in these. They're literally it's all stationery, and one of the drawers is blank books. Blank, mostly writing books and old school books and stuff and everything. I was a glorified gym teacher, so I basically stole a bunch of this stuff. So yeah. Yeah, he did. Because he wanted to write a whole story to do with something. And yeah, I know that all fell flat. However, now he seems to be interested in seriously interested in actually like making a kind of like a faux dream daddy kind of game. If you remember that game, the Grain Grumps, the Game Grumps did. But at least he seems like serious. And to be honest, I did like doing the actual maps and everything. It's what bugged me about that whole project was that it kind of fizzled out, and I felt like he was accusing me of like just of me wanting this, me wanting it as badly as him, I guess. You know, like I'd already had the Wars Club has been like a thing in my head for a long time. You know, it was just that he wanted to make a story about it. He seemed to forget that he was doing the story mostly for him. I didn't mind if there was a story about it. You know, he basically kept asking me my permission if he could use my lore and stuff, and needed help with like the settings and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go quickly get the book. I'll be like less than 5 minutes, unless I can't find it, in which case I'm gonna be forever. I'm leaving the door open and turning off the light. That was not cool. That was very not cool. I walked through like a really, really strong spider web. I got the book. See, it's a blank math book. It's got grid lines in it. I half expected to see a spider on my face or something. Yeah, I'm good. What'd I miss? We have actually found a building to base this off that's in the right location and looks really cool. So It's gonna be good. Like I said, I enjoyed doing it. Oh, it's a bug. Okay, it's a flying bug. I was like, something just crawled across my glass for my drink. And now I'm spider paranoid. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to do it in pencil first. Yeah, we got like a building and everything that is like the basis, and I'm gonna like I did for the clubhouse. The clubhouse itself was based on an actual building in London, in the right location and everything, and I did the same thing for New York. I found one that was fairly central, that would be fairly central in, and popular with gentlemen's clubs in New York and in Manhattan, and it was like, it's really cool. It's really cute. So all I've got to do is go to Discord and go to our chats and find the right layout. By the way, Panda Fox, this is why he was asking what you would be doing in the 20s if you were in the 20s the other night. Because he was talking about this. So, yeah. I've got to find an actual... Are we still here, or did everybody fuck off because I left? I left to get a book. I don't think it's a dating like sim. It's more of like you build a character and you can interact with like some characters to a certain extent, and it's more like a mentor sim than it is a dating thing. You're a killer fantasy for what? He's using your likeness as a base. Mainly because I said that, like, he was asking me if it was basically going to be racist, if it was going to be set in the 20s, and I said that, like, well, you could have, like, because magic is kind of in this universe, you can kind of, like, create a thing where um, the seal of Santa, or is kind of like embedded in the floor of the entrance to the club. So it kind of is like, everybody is very jolly and equal, seen as equals in the eyes of everybody else that passes over the seal. So basically, it solves racism. I know, right? I know it's dumb, but it's so that we can enjoy the time period without having to worry about racism so much. So yeah. What did I do this? What did I do? Oh yeah, I'm looking up a building. So if you look up Alwyn Court, the Petrosian building. That is the basis. Oh, there it is. Like, that is the building, basically. But I'm a Krampus person. Again, it's not you. I think he was trying to use your likeness back from pool. From the pool or from playing pool? Oh my goodness. Okay. I forgot that it has a gallery inside the pool. It has like an actual court inside that has like internal windows facing inside. That is awesome. It's a really cool building, you guys. It's a really cool building. Well, I taught you how to do that. You were doing that rather successfully in Vegas. Okay. From what I can see, the building itself has 4 floors, then a buttressade, a separation kind of plane, and then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more floors, and then another separation plane, and then 3 more floors. So I'm thinking we can use the first 4 floors could be the amenities, the bars, the saloons, the smoking rooms, all of that stuff, the drawing rooms, all of that shit, and then and the office and the admin and all that stuff, and then we can have the 5 floors as residential, separate offices or apartments, and then it could be, so I don't have to do anything basically for those because we have already got blueprints for the apartments of those things, although we might have to alter them just slightly. And then the last 3 floors could be for basically the staff and admin and stuff, like, again, maybe even a penthouse suite at the very top, like a rooftop kind of like balcony situation and stuff. For the penthouse suite, and then the next 2 floors down could be staff housing and quarters and stuff, because that would be a thing in the 20s, even in New York. But yeah, the modern day building, it's all apartments apparently. Like, it's all of it is apartments. Although there might be like a restaurant or something. It looks very fancy. There's something going on with the ground floor. So yeah. Now, I've talked to Roscoe about this last night. Was it last night? Or was it the night before? The last time we talked, anyway. The gentlemen's clubs of the time in London were radically different from the gentlemen's clubs in America. Gentlemen's clubs in America was when it started to become basically more about the booze and the networking and the saloon aspect to it. Essentially, they were just fancier saloons, fancier versions of basically the kind of Wild West saloon type places. In other words, they didn't have as many amenities. The gentlemen's clubs in London and in England of the time, basically, they had all the amenities that I've suggested. Some of them even had their own swimming pools and at least had a plunge pool and saunas. And well, they didn't call them saunas; they called them Turkish baths, and gymnasiums, and they had like gaming pubs and boxing rings, and basically they had all sorts in them. They had lots and lots of amenities. We can still bring some of those amenities to the American version, but we can't have all of them. There will be a lot of these floors will be dedicated to at least one large saloon type aspect. The other one will probably be devoted to a large type of restaurant of some kind. And then we can maybe add some amenities. But like I said, yeah, we've got, this is, like I said, this is the flagship Waters Club building in America. So we can have extras. We're allowed to have extras, I think. It's just that in the regular ones across America, I think that we would go more, it would be more of a saloon-esque type thing. Basically, think more De Fette Hund. It would basically be very much like, they would all be very much like De Fette Hund. They would just essentially be a kind of like a man spa kind of type place, which is just essentially just a big saloon style bar and chill out seating area. That's essentially what it is. So yeah, I'm open to suggestions for the amenities other than just the restaurant and the large saloon style bar with a big stage in the middle and everything. So yeah, I think because we've got 4 floors to play with, possibly like we could have a cellar as well, but I think that might be still kind of almost a servants area kind of thing, like maybe like a wine cellar or something. A vine cellar, fancy. But yeah, so now I've seen the building, I know how I'm going to separate these up a little bit. Essentially, I'm going to have 4 layouts per page of this grid book. I think. So I'm going to go back over to Discord. And have a quick look at this floor plan. I'm assuming the outer walls go all the way back, all the way down. The floor plan of the ground floors, I'm gonna guess. It doesn't have a picture of, I can't find a picture anywhere of the bottom of the opening in the middle of the building. Again, we're going to make alterations anyway. Wine cellar, yeah. Well, that'll definitely be part of the basement. It will be huge for this place. The basement is going to be massive. So it's like there'll be space enough for a wine cellar and possibly extra things. So if we did want to add basically the Turkish baths aspect to it, then that's probably where they're going to be located. So yeah, they're not going to be located probably anywhere above that. Purely because like Turkish baths usually had some kind of like water feature in the middle of the room, and that is something that was happening in New York, I think, in the 20s. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. Okay. There's a view that you can actually see it goes all the way down in the building. It almost looks like it had a fountain originally in the middle of the. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. So I'm just looking at pictures of the place so I can get a kind of like a feel for what to play with. So where's the picture? I clicked on the picture to see if I can find a. This looks super nice. Oh, here we go. That's the picture I wanted. Okay, I can't zoom. Ugh. There seems to be a plaque in the middle of there's like a little stand with a sign, but I can't read what the sign says because the picture's too small. Again, I'm just curious. I was just curious because it looks fascinating the way that this building is laid out. Yeah, we're gonna make that end basically. I don't think that's going to be open. Otherwise, like the actual apartments and stuff are going to be noisy. If I basically put the saloon on the saloon style bar, like on top of the first 4 floors, then that's going to be kind of. Maybe that would be a good thing. Oh, the acoustics would be terrible though, wouldn't they? Get the layout first. I'll think about this while I'm actually just drawing the outlines. Thinking of saloons and stuff, I've just got like Five Will Goes West soundtrack stuck in my brain. which is fun, but yeah. Is annoying. So I'm going to divide the page into 4s. That's fine. Start here. Oh, I need an extra page. No, I don't. No, I don't. If all the apartments or units are basically going to be the same, the apartment floors are going to be the same, then yeah. That just needs one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Why does it have to be an odd number? So 20. Mm-hmm. Everyone's gone super quiet. Remember this. Remember how this doesn't necessarily work if everybody goes super quiet. You're coding right now. That's weird. You're listening to me designing. Well, I did say that I would like some suggestions for the amenities. Amenities. How many lines across is this? Counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That's a good round number. So 15. It doesn't feel like. that is in the middle. Use the thumb pencil method for measuring. Yep, that's right in the middle. Okay, that's fine. I'm just making sure it's evenly spaced. And this gives me extra space to write notes. And labels. What do you think we should do with the center court thing? What do you think? I kind of am okay with it being open. And the top floor of the first 4 floors being a double floor with the saloon stage being in the middle, so that the singers or the performers or whatever, they could basically anybody in the upper galleries, because these all have windows, could be looking down on it. So yeah. The saloon will have a beer and smoking, a stage for music and dancers. Wine cellar is automatically there. Pool on the roof in the 20s. They weren't that ambitious when they were building buildings in the 20s. Did they have rooftop pools in the 20s? It's just that feels like a very modern invention, It's like I don't think they started doing that until like at least the 70s. I don't think there were rooftop pools. In New York as well. That's the thing. An enclosed pool would be the thing in New York. I don't think they had did New York had a Lido at some point? Did it? Elevator with operators? The building, according to the floor plans, the building looks like it does have an elevator shaft. It looks like it's in a very convenient place as well. So I wasn't going to alter that part. If you look on the first picture not on the drive, on the not on the document, sorry. If you look at the first picture, that you sent me, there's a blacked out section. I think that's what that is. I think that's the elevator block, or at least the stairwell. I'm pretty sure that they had elevators when the building was constructed. Yeah, the redesign of the building, they moved the elevators. Yeah, on the second picture that you sent me, it says elevators, and I think that's stairs or staircase. I think that's what that says. It's very blurry on the original plan, and on the redone plan, it looks like they've kept the stairwell, but they've moved the elevator. No. Correction. Sorry, a fox just screamed outside somewhere. Yeah, the second picture is just it's just too blurry to read. But I think that's the elevator. What was there in the? I think it's the maid's room. Yeah, it's the personal maid's room. I think that's where they moved the elevators to when they did the remodeling. But in the original building, it looks like the elevators and the staircase were all in one location. It's possible that the staircase, because they made a big deal out of having like one big elevator when they were first, put in big buildings. They made like a big deal of having like an elevator shaft, with a kind of like semi-open elevator design. Just the grate that moves. Telescopically moves across, and then basically like have it in a big cage that goes up, and they wrapped the stairs around that shaft usually. I think that's what they did here. And that's what it looks like anyway. So when they redid the elevators, because modern elevators literally just need a shaft, and all of the machinery is like up. Well, that's kind of true with the old ones. That's probably why it was easy to do this. Yeah, they probably just got rid of the stairwell completely and moved it to a separate location, because it seems to be the reception room for the second apartment seems to be where they've moved the stairwell. So yeah. Isn't building design fun, guys? Isn't this fascinating? So yeah, center court garden. I would like that. Basically, if we were going to do that, that would mean that the garden extends all the way into either the lobby or the cellar, and that would cut out a big section, at least a big section, too big of a section for me to be comfortable with. You know, like I'd be okay with that, but it's a bold choice to have a garden, an enclosed garden. I wanted one of the jobs the player could have being an elevator operator. That is perfectly understandable. I'm totally okay with that. We are probably going to import the larger freight style elevators that we have in the palace. So it's either going to have to be, because the building is um, relatively small, it's probably going to have to be one elevator that goes up and down as opposed to, yeah. Sorry, did you say garden on the roof? Again, it's not very 1920s. That's a very modern. It's a very modern concept. It's the problem is when you have a garden, when you actually have an actual garden. Back then, they didn't have the kind of like the technology to basically like you know plastic the like lining, do lots of linings and plastics and all of that stuff to basically like shield off a section from moisture. That's one of the reasons why they didn't have pools on roofs back and you know up until like the 70s, is because basically there was no really good like guaranteed waterproofing and sealants at the time. You know, there was stuff that was like, you know, temporarily waterproofing, and you know things like layering, you know, for like roofs and stuff. Um, you know, for like, you know, you have different materials and stuff that doesn't actually kind of like seal shut. Um, but you couldn't exactly, like they did with a lot of roofs, especially in New York in the 20s, you couldn't exactly lead line a swimming pool, because by then they understood that lead is kind of poisonous. they didn't they didn't think about it super much, like it's bad, but it's like it is kind of poisonous, and that does also mean it's poisonous to plants as well, you know. And that would be one of the ways that they did waterproof things, is basically by adding lead to roofs and stuff. So yeah, this means also that in the building, if you're going to put the garden in the building, it's going to um, need to be all the way down to the basement, because like it would need a significant amount of layering and waterproofing to make the basement not flood every time they watered the plants, or just to keep the plants alive and stuff like that, you know. It's like, yeah, it's like there's a cool idea that everybody wanted for a long time, and that's to put trees inside buildings. And one of the main reasons we can't do this is because A, waterproofing, and B, roots. Roots are strong and they fuck up stuff so badly. You know, there's a reason why trees aren't on every single street. And that's because they do destroy stuff. They're only on streets that basically don't have a huge kind of like infrastructure underground, you know, anywhere near them and stuff like that. You know, it's the trees are incredibly destructive. So yeah, this is why I suggested basically like closing off at least at some point before we get to the cellar levels, the underground levels. Um, I'm okay with it going all the way down to the lobby. You know, I'm okay with it going all the way down to the lobby. It's just that that is going to limit the amount of amenities and space. You still have lots. Remember, you still have 4 floors, so I'm okay with this being an option. So you can have a grand lobby, but at some point you're going to have to be a little bit more realistic. I'm not shooting down your ideas, by the way. I'm just telling you what's realistic for the time period. You know, if you wanted to do a modern day version of this, you could totally put a pool on the roof. You could totally put a garden, um, like in the atrium and stuff. So it would open up after the lobby. Yeah, you basically would enter, and you'd get the initial lobby, and then you'd have like a big seating area that has has a big open court all the way up to the windowed ceiling, because that's what's there at the moment. It's basically there's a big skylight essentially at the very top with windows and galleries, basically all the way around it. And in the past, they were open galleries, and some of them were actually windows, but like at least two sides of them were completely open, so that basically it was part of the apartments in the building. Like, so you basically walk into the lobby, and there would be the initial lobby, and then there would be this leading to the elevators and the stairwell. And there's two things on either side that either, like I said, I don't know what the actual building has there, but I suspect it's some kind of either cafe or restaurant or bar or something. So yeah. I definitely want I definitely want to do a modern one, but I want this one first because it's fun to make a period piece. No, I agree. I agree with that. It's just that if you want, like I said, if you want to save those ideas for a modern one, then that would be cool. Um, but yeah, like I said, my suggestion would be to um, either do the grand lobby idea or do the saloon. I'm okay with either one of these. It would mean that we could fit more into the building if we did the saloon idea, but the lobby idea is the most accurate to the actual building. I really wish I had floor plans for the entire building, because I would like to see what is actually on the lobby floor. Like I said, I can deduce what's there. It's just that yeah, it's what was originally there. It's just that like I've only got blueprints for the actual apartments, because in reality the building itself currently is, well, and always has been, it seems, just apartments. By the way, in the past, when somebody has apartments, that also means kind of like it's basically you buy a room, you buy the apartment, and you can actually run offices and businesses out of these apartments and stuff. Um, and well, in fact, you often see, like in old detective shows and stuff, they go to room 118. That's where the private investigator is, and that's an apartment building. That's not always it's not always an office block. It's actually like an apartment building usually, because back then apartments meant that it's just a series of rooms. It's not necessarily an apartment. So yeah. The saloon idea. You like the saloon idea better. Okay. Wait a minute. Sorry, I was about to do. I'm just doing the basic. I know this is. I know it looks like I've taken a long time to do this, but I was just getting the right dimensions down. And I don't know if you can see that on the camera because that's not on my preview screen right now. But I've just been doing the general layout, and I was just about to add the circular bit in the floor plan for the basement, and I was like, no, no. Because the basement is a different shape because it doesn't have to conform to the shape of the building above it completely. You know, you can have like a steps down to the basement from the outside that are covered by a hatch. In fact, nearly all buildings had this feature that had a basement. So yeah, I don't have to do that for that bit. So I don't have to do that notch thing in the corner. So the saloon, we're going to have a grand saloon. Excellent choice, sir. A lot of these places have to be oversized, mainly because the men are just going to be oversized. So it's good to have like a grand saloon because then I can actually play around with the space a bit more. Are the original blueprints, by the way, in the docs? Right. So what shape is the basement going to be? Oh, Google Maps. Let me have a look at Google Maps. I just want to get a good feel for the exact. Yeah, the street has been remodeled. Aha, I knew it. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, okay. Yeah. Like it does look like the first few floors are actually square and the notches in the sides don't begin until sort of fairly halfway up the building almost. But yeah, so that's the main entrance and the canopy and this alleyway. That's where they had the basement hatch. What are you adding? Are you adding like the blueprints for like the whole building? So yeah. I have not put space in for that. Oh. It's not going to have a dual basement, is it? We'll have a deep basement. How about that? Split level basement. Only because I'd have to redraw this whole page, and I've just got the outlines done for everything. I know it's just a simple thing for me, but yeah. Halfway. Wow, I didn't know that the whole, or like all the blueprints are available. That's cool. That is sweet. Ah, yeah. Okay, designing it from the ground up. I'm gonna do. I've got the first 3 floors and the basement. You can't find the full one. That's what I mean. I just want to know what's on the bottom floor. I want to know what's on the ground floor. But it's not essential. It's mainly because I was just curious as to see like what that is, because like the street view that we saw, it's not very clear. What's that? There's like a store. It has a store in the ground floor. And then it has an open basement on one side of the building. But our version doesn't. Mainly because, like I said, that is going to be too complicated to add in if I did that. Although we could make that part of the basement. It has windows. That's weird. My tongue was just itchy on one side. Yeah, but I've seen pictures of it with some kind of awnings over the windows on either side, kind of indicating there's some kind of like restaurant or something. But on the street view, there's none of that. Odd. So on the ground floor, I have got a notification. I'm going to say that's a link, isn't it? Yeah, that's the modern. That's the roof, isn't it? That's the modern. That's the modern roof. So I'm plotting where the elevator is going to be. um, I'm plotting, scheming. I'm scheming where the elevators are going to be. Because they're going to be like I need to find out where they're going to be for where the I need to find out where the where the court is so that the court can be next to the elevators like they are in the original floor plans. Well, in the remastered ones too. So yeah. Okay. Okay. So they're like it's about 5 squares on my map. It's about 5 squares from the east wall. And to make it centered, it can be 5 squares from the west wall and talking about the court. So yeah. Dude, it's okay. It's totally okay. Are you still here or are you yeah. Sucks for history buffs. I was just curious, you know. Even in the modern iteration, I just wanted to know if there was like a restaurant there at some stage or what, because I just like the pictures are um, wrong somehow. That's a perfect square, so that's where the court's going to go, right in the middle. And the stairs are about, or the elevator stair shaft is about 1.5. No, yes, yes. On either side. And they only extend. Yeah, we might have to increase that on account of the whole, bigger elevators. So yeah. JP, hi. Um, okay, no, I got it. I got it. I know this again. This is probably very boring for everybody that isn't into like building design and history and stuff. I guess maybe. I mean, oh, so this is the stairwell and elevator block. I feel like we could do better. Don, I asked if you were still here. Just wanted to know if you wanted a proper goodbye. But, yeah, see, the stairwell will work if it's regular people sized, but we might need a bigger stairwell, but that would cut into a large chunk of the building with the court. Designing for big people is hard. Oh, but if they're like, if this space behind it and around it is going to be used for like um the workers and the servants, then like they don't have to be as big. So that's fine. And we are going to have to. I think we're going to cut it. I think we can get 2 elevator shafts in if we basically extend a staircase. I know, Roscoe, by the way, these are my problems. You don't have to input on these problems, but it's just a me thing. I'm just trying to. This is how the other 2 building plans were done, by the way. I basically did all of this, just not publicly, although some of it was on a train. I guess it's New York. Not everybody needs to use the stairs, so the staircase could be about the same. What do you? Here, Roscoe. Apart from the saloon, in which I am going to include a staircase, because it's the saloon is going to be split leveled. There's going to be like a gallery. There's like it's because it's two, it's not split level. It's on 2 levels. It's multi-leveled. I'm gonna have like a staircase somewhere in the actual saloon itself. Maybe 2 staircases leading up to the 2nd level. Maybe even flanking the stage. I haven't designed that bit yet, but yeah. What do you think? Do you want a grand staircase, kind of like Titanic-esque? Or do you want me to use that space for something else? Again, we've got 4 floors, so if we did want extra amenities, we could easily put them in. On the 1st floor, on the ground floor, we're going to have the lobby and a restaurant, I think. A restaurant / cafe. We've got 2 entrances, basically. If we're going to stick to the original plan of the building, we've got 2 like I was going to say grand entrances. Like one of them's covered. Like there's the buttress entrance, the tower entrance, and then there's the side entrance, which is the main entrance for the current building. So yeah, you think a grand staircase? So there should be elevators and a staircase. Ooh, like a stairwell, basically. That's the thing, because when you're doing floor plans, you have to plan for the other floors. So if you draw something on one floor plan, that's going to go through all of them, like a big staircase, or like an elevator shaft. You have to remember where these are on the next floors up and stuff. So yeah. Safety hazard is a fire happens. Yeah. 20s. Does the building have an external, like a fire? Does it have an external? I don't think it does, unless it's in the alleyway. But the problem is I can't actually see the alleyway from the street view. It's preventing me. It's possible it does have a hidden fire escape kind of like system. Oh, where did it put me? Rotate one more time. Come on, give me a good view. Okay, I can see the back of the. Oh, the problem is that on Google Street View, I mean Google Maps and Google Earth, the giant building next to this building keeps resetting the camera. So I'm like, sometimes I'm looking at the building, and then I'll just tilt the camera slightly, and then all of a sudden I'm in the park because it moves the camera. It doesn't have an external fire escape. Isn't that a requirement in New York? I thought they all had to have external fire escapes. Weird. But I thought that was like a 30s edition. Although I guess they had them. Yeah. There's a lot of back rooms then for the lobby, I think. Like there's a lot of admin stuff that happens in the lobby. I guess they have like a mail room as well and stuff. So the ground floor is definitely gonna be like cafe and stuff. Oh my god. I just caught a spot on my face and it hurt so bad. So this allocated, okay, so allocated space for the, I've allocated space for the elevators. If this wall goes all the way to the edge, I don't think it does, but if it did, that's where I can put the staircase, and then I would be happy with that being there. But I don't think it does go all the way to the. No, it doesn't. Oh, ooh, ooh. But then it wouldn't be a grand stairway. It wouldn't be a grand staircase. if the apartments are smaller, if the apartments are slightly smaller, we get like each apartment on the original floor plan is it takes up half of the floor of the building, and um, they have 3 bedrooms. If we remove one of the bedrooms, make it a dining room, we have enough room for a staircase. Because that's the thing. Don't do that. Don't do that, because that negates everything that I'm doing here. You know that, right? if you start fucking with TARDIS like rooms, then like the building is impossible, and to plan, it just is. Um, I think I've got a solution. Yeah, because the problem is that like I'm not so worried about the lower floors. It's just that fitting the staircase close to the elevators is problematic, because the original elevators are in, and the original stairwell are not huge. They're not grand. They're not grand stairwells, um, and they're around the elevators. So it's kind of like not a big deal. But because we need them to be the elevator itself to be bigger, and we're going to have to. I'm going to put 2 elevators in, just because it's more convenient, and it stops me having a headache. I can't stand it just having one elevator. Don't. No. Um. Yeah, the problem is that like it's not such of a problem for the first 4 floors, which are the amenities floors. It's more of a problem for the how they connect to the floors above it, because they have a slightly different floor plan, and I like it that way. I don't want it to change. I don't want it to change the floor plan. I like it that I've got a basis in an actual building. Um, it means that the stairwells are going to take up some space, some window space, and that is not done particularly in kind of like the New York, Boston, Washington, DC, um, like these cities, particular architecture, they didn't have stairwells that had windows that faced the outside. These stairwells, the stairwells is gonna face the windows once it gets up to, once it gets past the first 4 floors, and that is a problem. Because it takes away like window space from the apartments. So yeah, I'm trying to get it to fit into the court, but that means that it's going to take up a lot of space in the building in the first 4 floors, and it's a thing. It's a thing. We could have a split staircase, but then that would be a fire hazard thing. So yeah. I'm gonna go. No. So why is this hard? Oh, oh! I haven't considered this. I could just move the elevators. and have that space be allocated to the stairwell. That would solve all the problems. That could be the elevator. We could only have one, unless I literally put an extra box here. Then we're only sacrificing internal windows. Yeah. I'm doing that. No, I'm doing that. I think that's a pretty good solution. I'm smart. I am so smart. I'm smarty smart. I'm like really smart. Really smart. The only problem is that now I've got to design a lobby that wraps around all of this. The lobby's huge. It's really long, is what I meant to say. If we're not going to have the court go all the way down to the lobby, then the lobby is massive. You know, without a centerpiece like the thing. But yeah, the lobby is like, it's really long. It goes all the way into the building. I'm not trying to convince you, by the way, that we shouldn't have the saloon be the bottom of the lobby. I'm just trying to say that it's like, it's a nightmare to redesign. There's a building here. There's a building here. I can't put that would be better if I put the entrance on this side of the building. Again, I wish I was okay with changing the original building and just having it based on that building, but I like that it's different, that it's based on reality so much. Is the entrance like in the middle, by the way? I know I'm asking you a question, but it's like, you know, the lobby entrance. Oh, it's not. Oh. Well, that changes nothing. Yeah, the corner entrance is the entrance to what I suspect to be is the is like a cafe or something, or a bar that actually exists on the ground floor of the actual building, but there was a covered entrance on the side of the building, on the south side of the building, and that is the entrance to the lobby itself. It has two entrances. I think it's always had two entrances. Yeah, there's a motif. There's a in the masonry that basically has antique lights and everything. So this has always been the side entrance, which I like. I like that it has two entrances. I'm keeping that as canon, that it basically has two entrances. You have the lobby entrance, and then you have the entrance to the cafe restaurant kind of eatery place, which is going to take up most of the ground floor. But that's what I mean. I'm gonna show you real quick, like what I got. So, like, I know this is very simple, and for the amount of time that I've been at it, but here we go. So, this is the ground floor. This is the entrance to the cafe or the restaurant. Here is the other entrance, is where the other entrance is going to be. I have to create a lobby that extends into the building quite a lot to get to the big stairs and the two elevators. I could just make it like a big hallway, but you know, with a desk here or a desk on this side. But that would mean that basically you enter the building and are confronted with a wall, and I don't like that. I might just have to deal with it, and basically we have basically like a big walrus, because I always like to put a big walrus in the walrus clubs, you know, like a big statue, or like an engraved, like embossed kind of like masonry rendering of a big walrus, or a giant painting or something. I'm liking this wall idea. I'm warming up to it. I am. Otherwise, the stairs are going to be in the restaurant. But yeah, Roscoe, do you see my do you see my problem? Do you see my problem? See my plight? I am liking this wall idea a lot more. Also, I put the thing up to the screen, and I showed you where the problem that I'm having, because we solved one problem, but you have to solve another problem. But yeah, so this is the ground again, real quick. So this is where the side entrance is going to be. I could have it like, so the lobby is going to extend into this section, and then there's going to be a wall here at some point, and then the wall's going to extend all the way to these elevators, 1, 2 elevator on either side, and the staircase is in the middle. going to be the big staircase, and this is the entrance to the cafe or restaurant. So a lot of this floor is going to be cafe / restaurant. It's going to be the eatery. You like the wall idea? I'm liking it more and more because I think we can make a feature out of it. I can design the feature later. I don't have to worry about it right now. But we could even have like some kind of fountain thing happening, with a walrus. I'm just saying. It's either that or it's going to be a big painting, a big fresco, maybe. I don't know. A big fresco. Let me just put the actual fucking door on, and then I'm going to just design that. I'm just going to just do that. Where's my picture? There it is. Okay, so we have tiny fly. Considering I'm planning on the magic part being a lot of you like the idea of the Wars Fountain, yeah? Okay. That's fucking typical. So I've just plotted out where the windows are and stuff, and it's like they are stereotypically in awkward configurations, and they don't conform to my square grid pattern, and it's annoying. Like the pillars are just barely not one square on my paper, which means that they are teeny tiny. Instead, okay, but that means I can fit this in. So that's the entrance. But that's good because that means they'll fit in the door at least. That means a lot of them will be able to fit in the door. Some of them might need to be squeezed through. Squeeze through. No, I know what TFing was. Or are you just clarifying for people who don't get it? It's probably that one. Right. It's good. We got like a security office. Right, well, we've got the first floor basically like sorted. I'm gonna go, I think, mainly because I'm getting very tired. Getting sleepy. I've been on for a little while, so yeah. Once I'm just gonna plan the initial walls. I'm just like making sure that I know that this is gonna be the security office. There's gonna be a big security office thing. Like you go into the lobby, or at least the lobby hallway, and you've got like you're confronted with a wall, but on one side is the restaurant and the restaurant's entrance to the lobby, and also on the other side there's another set of doors, but that's going to be the security office for basically just building security and where the footman, the door, the night watch people, the night doorman and stuff. I mean, that's where they're going to be, or at least that's their personal office or break room or something. It's a staff room basically, but that's going to be on that side, and then there's a like a seating area or whatever, and then you got you got the desk, basically the front desk for the Warriors Club, because they all have this kind of, at least a desk-ish kind of situation, and access to the mail room and stuff like that. I'm just planning where the mail room's going to go, and then I can split off the kitchen side of the restaurant, and the rest of the floor is going to be restaurant. And once I've done that, I am leaving. I'm escaping. Escapade. Also, bathrooms. Yeah. Well, I do need access to the cellar. Which is, I mean, the elevator can get there, but also, yeah, there's a stairway underneath the main stairway. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm good. I'm good. Right. Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm missing something from the ground floor. Because we got the ground floor sorted, then I can actually plan out everything a lot smoother. Um, yeah. Right. So now I can actually label things. So toilets. That's the mail room. Hallway. Um, Kitchen. Cafe. Restaurant. I don't know how to spell restaurant. Restaurant. Um, Lobby. I think this is staff room. Uh, Elevator, stairs, elevator, and janitorial closet. So you can go away. Thanks for that. I've already written it down in pencil, so I could check it later. So now we've got like the first floor is done. Woo! And using that basic blueprint, I'm gonna do all of it in pen, by the way. So that basically it like gets the so I get the entrances and the like the doors to everything and all of that sorted out. Um, but I just wanted to get everything in pencil first so that it looks good. But now that I've done that, I can basically project down into the basement. Still want to do something else with the basement besides just the wine cellar. There's obviously going to be a wine cellar, but I would like Roscoe to basically think about that. Think about the what we want to do. Do we want to have extra things in the cellar? Such as like the Turkish bath idea, or the thing that was a thing in America. You did have like rows of baths. You had public baths almost, um, and that's why they're in several of well, that's why they're in the palace and the clubhouse in the first place. But like, there's a more elaborate versions of those, and America like did seem to, at least in the cowboy era, all the way up to the 20s. I think that basically they did have some kind of like public bath system. They basically did have rows of baths and showers and stuff, and it's like, I'm pretty sure that was that could be in a gentleman's club, but I would like to know if there's like anything else that could be there instead, because here's what I've got in my head for the next floors up. So the basement, like I said, we've got it could be all storage and all utilities, or you could add something to it. You don't have to. I'm okay with not having it. I'm just saying that if you want extra amenities, go for it. We got the ground floor, which is the public cafe, and that also has private dining and also extra dining for members and everything. Um, and as well as the lobby and access to the rest of the floors of the hotel, of the club. On the next floor up, that one is kind of a free for all, because we're going to have basically the lounge area, the salon, the cigar lounge, the chill out space, basically the bar, like the library. All of these things are going to be kind of like, that is essentially what a salon was. So like, it's the drawing room, the chill room, it's the brandy room, it's like all of these names, all the same place. So I could either have one of those just completely covering the entire place, or we can have like it separated into a more chill space and also a game bar, which is not necessarily something that American gentlemen clubs had. That was more of an English thing. Um, so there's a tiny, tiny fly that keeps just getting in my face. Yeah. That's an option, or we can have it just one continuous, with private segmented off sections of it. Um, just one continuous lounge kind of space. It's like, I'm leaving that up to him. I've got ideas for both, so I'm okay with either. And then we've got the next floor up, and the next floor up is going to be the saloon, and this is a 2-story kind of fully stocked saloon. There are going to be private rooms in which you can do like private gambling. There could be like a gambling section. It could be basically sectioned off into separate places, and you can have private rooms to it. However, you are going to mostly have it's mostly going to be open plan. It's going to be multi-floored, multi-tiered, and it's going to like have kind of a gallery around it before you get to the grand opening up of the building for the court kind of situation. And the stage is going to be very much in the center. So I've left space for that on here, because I know where that is in relation to the the stairwell and the elevators and stuff. So yeah, that's my plan anyway. The rest of the floors are going to be mostly admin. I'm going to do one drawing, one design for the apartments as well, because there are going to be separate apartments or separate accommodations, and they are going to be very much done like the apartments that we saw in the thing. But yeah, this is a rough sketch, and again, it's done in pencil, so I can adjust thicknesses of walls and change the add pillars and stuff as well. I'm going to do all of that in pen once I've got on the rest of the rooms solidified and stuff. So yeah, I'll just put a bathhouse or something for the magic part. If you want, you could, if you want there to be some kind of mystical aspect to this. You could basically have like a ritual area or basically a ceremonial area in the basement. However, I was planning on the the king or whatever you want to call the top chambers, the king, president, whatever you want to call him, the president of the club's space was going to be kind of like the throne room where all of the ceremonial stuff would happen. But if you want a more mystical side of it, then you could say that basically like the king's personal chamber could be in the basement, with like either a ceremonial area or like a laboratory or like a sex dungeon. It could be anything. This is what I mean. This is why I left it open. I didn't mind if you just wanted to have a bathhouse in it. I don't mind if you want to put like this like secret lab, whatever, in it. The secret ceremonial summoning circle, whatever. I'm totally open to any of the ideas that you have. It's kind of just like it's completely up to you. That's why I didn't start with the basement in the first place. It's also because I wanted to figure out where we have like the hard points of the building, the parts that I wanted to keep very much intact with the original building, So I wanted to leave that open to you so you could add your story to it if you wanted to. Much like I haven't planned out, like you'll notice that I hadn't planned out at all the top floors. I literally have like said what the floors will be, but I haven't actually like planned out what's going in them. Apart from just now, like I said, with the whole, the president's floor, the presidential suite, the penthouse suite at the top is going to be whatever you want. It's basically it could be an apartment, it could be a throne room, there could be an apartment and a throne room. There's space for both. He has full run of the top 2 floors. So yeah. But you have full control so far of that. However, I'm mostly going to go ahead with this for the ground floor or the public floor. So yeah. Okay, fuck off. Tiny fly landed right on the top of my head, bastard. Basically, all the magical stuff was more so I just wanted a magical catalyst that would be the core of magic for the that would be the core for the magic for the entire building. Summoning circle, I would put it in the throne room. Besides, the king could just make his room into the dungeon when he wants it to be. Okay. Ooh. Well, yeah, I guess. The king / club president, whatever. It's just a title, right? Anyway, yeah, like they own the building. It's essentially there, but yeah. So I got an itch on my leg. um, right. Again, he has the whole building basically, but yeah, okay. Okay. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I did tonight. Oh my god. Stop yawning. I am going to go to bed soon. But I'm glad that we have started. I kind of don't care either way, but like the ground floor, do you call that the first floor or do you call it the ground floor because it's on the ground? You know what? I'm gonna write ground floor. I I do actually have a stance on the whole ground floor, first floor bullshit. But yeah. Autocorrect? What? I want to go home. You could just do that, you know. You're allowed. Right, guys. Belly wubs and belly salute. And yeah, I'll be back the day after tomorrow, probably. Ugh. My shirt will not tuck back into my pants. Ugh. Okay. I call it ground. Yeah, it's the ground floor, right? I mean, that makes sense. It makes sense. It seems to be an American thing to call it like the first floor for some reason. But no, that's the first floor after the ground floor. Again, I don't know if this is coming through the mic, but there was a cuckoo bird outside. It's annoying. Anyway, yeah, I'll be back the day after tomorrow. Um, I'll see you guys then. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing editing for the videos that I recorded today, and um, if you're on Just for Fans, you will see at least a couple of them. But yeah, again, I still need to know if the this vid website is considered to be trustworthy. I haven't had any feedback from that. I have asked a couple people, but like they either haven't heard of it or basically don't use it that much, so they can't tell me. But like, if anybody is watching this on playback and watched it all the way to the end, then yeah, I would like some of that, so that I could basically like share the videos more than to just the fans, you know. So yeah. Did you really, Panafox? Or do you just want more? My beard is like going this way for some reason. I overcorrected it when I basically came out of the car today. Belly rubs, belly salute, go away. Right, yes. You know what? All you guys that aren't doing just for fans, and yeah, I'm blaming Panafox for this. Like, so I work my butt off to make videos for you guys. Like, pay me back, go to just for fans, give me money. I'm obviously kidding. Okay, I'm not that guy, but you know what? I'm tired, so a little bit cranky. I still want to have a little bit of game time before I go to bed. So, I mean, you can just scroll back a little bit and watch the belly rubs and belly salute. Maybe do it again because I care. You know, I'm fucking with you, man. It's okay. Yeah, like I said, day after tomorrow, I'll be doing another live stream. But yeah, I might give the same 3 choices, although I'm probably going to do. I'm probably going to do the Amazon thing anyway tomorrow at some point, and feel bad about it. So yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I think I said everything. I'm going to hit the button. Toodles!